Hi, I'm Seamanduras, and this is my presentation for ISO's 2021 Uncut Coins. I hope you enjoy it. Uncut Coins, Money Neutrality and Reality Surplus by Seamanduras. In Uncut Gems 2019, we see Howard, played by Adam Sandler, showing his newest, most cherished possession, the opal dug up by black Jewish Ethiopians. While he embeds the object in a historical, geological, and ancestral plot that lays its value, Kevin Garnett, playing himself, immerses in the universes of the opal, hypnotized by the truths that call to him. As beautiful as the opal is, its realities are no different than that of many other objects in our world. Gold and silver, cacao and salt are things that share an important quality with the opal, being money. An interesting aspect of money, which we explore in the following presentation, is its peculiar quality of being many things but slipping away from all of them, being recognized and remain unknown, and, as we are witnessing right now, moving from the material to the digital world without losing any shred of its power. Money is an object insofar as, using Graham Harman's definition, quote, an object is anything that can't be reduced to the components it's made of, nor to the effect it has in other things, end quote. Following a forgotten tradition since Kant and Heidegger of philosophizing about the object as such, Mario Teodoro Ramirez tells us about Harman that, quote, according to the American philosopher, modern philosophy has, until now, overestimated the subject-object relation and has eliminated or turned to the sciences the object-object relation. In general, it's maintained the supposition that the object can only be taught in relation to the subject and not in itself, hence his proposal to elaborate an object-oriented ontology. This ontology begins by objecting against two reductionist trends of the object, undermining and overmining. Undermining aims to reduce any object to its components and, quote, claims that objects are too specific to deserve the name of ultimate reality and dream up some deeper, indeterminate basis from which specific things arise. On the other hand, for overmining, quote, objects are important only insofar as they are manifested to the mind or are part of some concrete event that affects other objects as well. This is, the object does not have a reality of its own, but only the relations it entangles with or its manifestation in conscience. An example that can clarify both reductionisms is love. An undermining of love is to reduce it to its chemical and hormonal components. Love is nothing but a chemical reaction in evolved primates. Love's overmining will be to reduce it to the relation it takes part in. Love is nothing but the anxiousness of completeness that drives the obsessive consumption of bodies in late capitalism. In both cases, love lacks proper content, is either hormones or subjective projections, but nothing else. We've had plenty of overminers in philosophy. In the specific case of money, one of the most recent is John Searle. In Money, Social Ontology and Law, Searle develops his view where money is a deception. Quote, money is unique in that it is believed to be valuable by each individual only on the assumption that everybody else believes it to be valuable and believes that everybody else believes it to be valuable, and so on up in a potentially infinite but non-vicious hierarchy. End quote. Money's reality is reduced to beliefs about it, buried in epistemic relations. Behind its epistemology, there's no ontology. With money's reality being denied, several events in economic history and history of economic thought become unintelligible. An overmining approach like Searle's cannot explain, for example, the debate about money neutrality between classical economists and Keynes at the beginning of the 20th century. Money neutrality here understood as Lucas's monetary neutrality, the view that money supply expansion has, in a nutshell, little to no effect over productivity and the economy. This historical episode has to be explained by accounting for money's own reality. This is, its functions and qualities irreducible to any subjective or fundamental metaphysics. In the imaginary of classical economics, where we find thinkers like Adam Smith or John Stuart Mill, the economy functions on the basis of in-kind exchange. Classical economists developed economic theories with the parallel axiom or Say's law as their foundation. Every offer creates its own demand, all acts of investment come from previous savings, and all savings are just postponed consumption, for money only serves the purpose of transaction. Money does not have an acting role, it's neutral. Quoting Adam Smith, goods can serve many other purposes besides purchasing money, but money can serve no other purpose besides purchasing goods. Money, therefore, necessarily runs after goods, but goods do not always or necessarily run after money. The axioms of classical economics were undermined by events like the 1929 crisis. The world they modeled was that of a static kind and demanded to be conceived as a self-regulating mechanism of investment and production. In the long run, it was thought the crisis will eliminate the least efficient actors and natural order will be restored. Any kind of intervention will only aggravate the problem and delay the self-adjustment even more. In words of Andrew Mellon, USA Treasury Secretary in the Hoover administration, quote, liquidate labor, liquidate stocks, liquidate the farmers, liquidate real estate. It will purge the rottenness out of the system, end quote. The role of the state is that of an observer in the outcome of social Darwinism. Keynes saw that, in the long run, we are all dead. The prescribed inaction of the classical economics followers, argument developed in the general theory of employment is interest and money, comes from their incapacity to see money as a vectorial, with direction, non-neutral factor in the economy. With pragmatic insight, Keynes was able to theorize that the cycle of investment and production was not achieved because, in their conceptualization of money, classical economists did not understand how uncertainty could become a relevant economic effect. Uncertainty changes money's role in the economy. While classics assume that every coin is spent sooner or later, Keynes glimpsed something else. When facing uncertainty, the public prefers to save instead of spend. Such saving is money that does not necessarily come back to the economic cycle. It is not just postponed consumption. And its exit prevents investment, since there isn't enough consumption levels to make it profitable to the capitalists. In such crossroads, Keynes proposes to, quote, persuade the public that green cheese is practically the same thing and to have a green cheese factory, a central bank, under public control. This is for the central bank to print money and wake the economy from its slumber. Keynes discovered money as a technology of uncertainty. In response to Searle's reductionist overmining, Ferraris tells us that money belongs to the domain of technology, located between epistemology and ontology in his spherical diagram. Quote, the first is epistemology, which is very small because the sphere of what we know is not very big. The second, an intermediate one, is that of technology, what we do, which is far more than what we know. The third, finally, is that of ontology, the vast sphere of what there is in the social world, and, even more so, in the natural world. End quote. Money is a technology, for it manages uncertainty in an economy where expectations about the future determine the economic conditions of the present. This use of money was not theorized by classical economists. Their epistemology did not account for this new technological reality of money. Another quality of objects in Harman's object-oriented ontology is their withdrawal. Following a Heideggerian reasoning, he tells us that, quote, the reality of things is always withdrawn or revealed rather than directly accessible, and therefore any attempt to grasp that reality by direct and literal language will inevitably misfire. This withdrawal of the object to, quote, a subterranean background, enacting the reality in the cosmos without appearing in the least, end quote, is the domain of the ontological in Ferraris. An object's reality surplus that provides foundation to its technology and is a condition of possibility for the epistemological. Ontology, then, is, quote, the power that that is what mobilizes the social structures, end quote of Ferraris. Keynes was able to account for money's reality surplus, how its ontology exceeds and conditions its technology, which, once traced, makes possible its epistemology, the general theory of employment. Showing how money is vectorial, Keynes delegated its usage to the state, effectively taking the protagonic role in economic management. Money will become the blood that runs through its leviathanic veins. As Searle points out, while illustrating the historical tendency of the issuer to control the value of money through its manufacturing, quote, minting is a profitable business, and many governments engage in seigniorage even today, end quote. The debate between classical economists and Keynes, with the latter setting up the economic political paradigm of the following decades, has been revitalized by the debate between those who locate the value of money in its supply and demand according to its use in transactions, the transactionists, and those who claim it comes from the creation of efficient debt by the state, the creditists. While common political sense gives reason to the creditists, they too have overmined money. It has become nothing else, nothing more than a vector to lessen market inefficiencies. And yet, money moves. To reduce it into a capitalist fetish or a debt towards the modern state is a mistake, for money preceded both, and most likely will see them depart. Pecuniary constellations are already gathering around the bit, and cryptocurrency already shows a new evolution in money, and even a resurgence of metalism, this time digital. This shows that, contrary to the popular imagination where men forges coins, it is actually the coin that mints humanity. Only one side is visible, for the potentiality that escapes us always remains uncut. This is my art bibliography. Thank you very much for listening and watching. This was a production of NF Tecnologica. You can follow us at Twitter or contact us through email. Thank you very much.